how to sing high notes easily for lower voices. We covered the tenor voice already, where we looked at the high B. This is the first note to try and engage with the coordination. With the bass and the baritone, it's slightly different. You won't ever get that high mechanism working. So it's very similar to the passaggio video. You need to watch my passaggio video and the falsetto video, but we'll recap a little bit on here. So for the basses, they don't really get beyond the passaggio. They sometimes have to sing an F, which is only one note above the passaggio. So it's possible for a bass just to push the chest a little bit further, yeah? But for training purposes, it's worth practicing in falsetto anyway to give the voice a little bit more color and flexibility. So I train basses and baritones just the same as I train tenors, but without that higher mechanism, that higher extension. So to recap then, these notes, middle C and above basically. Yeah, you can't, ideally you shouldn't really push them. Basses and baritones can get away with just pushing chest up. Tenors can't because they need to engage that higher mechanism. And that's what gives the tenor its peculiar color, the very bright ringing tone. With the bass and the baritone, you're never going to get quite that ring. But some baritones, some high baritones can get a little bit of that ring. So you can use a bit of the tenor technique if you're a high baritone. But if you're a low baritone, then do more like this. So it's the same idea. We keep the oo falsetto going. Always, the oo falsetto is key to everything. Oh, you reduce the breath flow. Oh, and just change to O. It will bring full voice in. To get a bit more chest, add an O. But always keep the oo going. And finally, add R. You'll never get as bright a tone as a tenor, like I said, but try and get a bit of R into the sound. So that's the middle C. So you pretty much do the same up to the E. So let's just do an E. So it's easy really. Obviously I'm a tenor, so it's a bit easier for me. But because baritones and basses don't have to do those super high notes like tenors, it is a bit easier, to be honest. It's not as difficult to sing high notes for the lower voices. Yeah? And at F, there is a little bit of change. Yeah? You change just like a tenor would change at F sharp and G. You just don't really engage the high mechanism, the A flat and the A, like the tenor does. So with the F, it's just a little bit more falsetto dominant now. F sharp. It's difficult to get R vowel into the F sharp and G, but you try a little bit, because that will bring the volume in, the power. Just by engaging that sense of you'll get more power. Yeah. So there's not really much to say any more than that. It's you work long time on your falsetto. To get the throat open. And then you can try and get as flexible as you can from going from to the R sound, yeah? That's pretty much it, because the tenor is different. You've got this higher mechanism, but with the bass and the baritone, you pretty much sing in chest. But the passaggio you start to eliminate the chest just as you would as a tenor. And then at an F, again you do the same as a tenor. There's not really much to say. You just got to keep working your falsetto. And a baritone will take the A flat slightly chestier than tenor. With the tenor voice, you have to lighten off a little bit on that A flat and go more over to falsetto dominance. But the baritone, make a darker sound. Yeah, you will never get that brightness that the tenor has. So just to recap, the secret for singing high notes is to keep that that falsetto ooh, keep it open, keep the throat open. So that when you bring the ah in, rather than going so the ooh falsetto vowel will open the throat for you. Then you close the chords using the ah, and that will bring the chest in. Very simple. Just keep practicing your falsetto every day. And then once it gets ready, gets stronger, you'll bring the chest in. No problem at all. So easy.